I went from about here to here, and from about here to here. What did I just do? Well, I just handled my own body at my knee joint. That's it. The back and the front side of my knee joint. How did I get there? Well, on the Nordic, you could see that how much the hips bend and how much assistance you use on the way back up determines the difficulty. So you can just put in gradual energy over time and improve. And with the reverse Nordic, how high you elevate the foot and how far you go back determines the difficulty. When do I do this? Neither of these drills are in zero. Zero is done 3 times a week and you don't need any equipment. And the idea is to rebuild the ankles, knees, and hips, rebuild from the ground up with mobility, prepping us for this. So when do I do this? Now I'm doing advanced zero, which I plan to do for about 1 year. Advanced zero has 2 leg days rather than 3. Monday is a weighted leg day. Thursday is a body weight leg day. So because these are knee bulletproofers, at the end of working my way from the ground up, these are steps 7 and 8, 3 sets of 5 on my Thursday body weight leg day. And for good measure, to be extra safe, that Nordic I still alternate weeks. So in the app, even for me, it tells me that half the weeks I go down, I stay as straight as I can, and I push back up. And only every other week do I levitate and pull back up. But you see, even the levitating could be done right here. So anyone can actually, roughly anyone can get into these. And by prepping with zero, we've seen that everyone can get into these. That's it. It's that simple. So let's go over conclusion now. Whenever I figure out anything new, no matter how simple, no matter how boring, such as, wow, I can just elevate my feet for a reverse Nordic so someone can progress right from home. So anyone who has a home gym and has a squat rack, I've loaded the bar more than I weigh, and I've loaded on the other side so that I'm 100% safe to do my Nordic. This is a ProSource Fit pad off Amazon. I like extra thick pads because you don't want any discomfort to take away from how hard you can exert. And then I just have a towel on the bar. So pretty cool that to get world-class knee bulletproofing, I don't even have to buy anything different than I had when I was 16 years old and saved up mowing lawns for a squat rack in my garage. And anyone who goes to a gym, even if you go to one of those like Anytime Fitness gyms that doesn't have a free weight squat rack, that's even easier because you can use the Smith machine and it's so easy to set up and rack the weights on there more than you weigh. So that's the first part of the conclusion, is just that it's so easy to get into this and work on it. And I will link, the videos are outdated, but I will link into the description my original Nordic and reverse Nordic videos, which were the most viewed in YouTube history for either of those categories, but they're slightly outdated. We actually have a simpler progression now. You'll see the difference, but you will see a bunch of different ways to mimic the equipment and a bunch of different ways to get into these two. So I will link those 2 unlisted videos in the description, so you could look into this stuff further if you want. The real big purpose here is that so many physios have reached out to me about these Nordics and reverse Nordics, saying how much they support me promoting this because they believe those are the 2 greatest bulletproofers against knee injury, like to prevent knee injury from happening in the first place. So what's scary is not being able to handle your body at your knee joint. That's scary, and my mission is making the process of getting that ability on either side of the joint not scary. You see what I mean? So I will close it out with my mother, who's 67 years old. And if you want to make it a little more enticing, okay, I broke my high school's record for 40-yard dash in terms of slowest ever timed in the varsity basketball team's history. So I knew I was slower than every other kid, and I didn't think that would ever change, and puberty didn't change it. And it wasn't until much later, into my mid to late 20s, realizing the value of the Nordic, among other things, and just gently putting in that effort once a week, but really polishing it so you never have to work through pain. You work at your level. And now speed has become a weapon for me when I play my sport. And now what's pretty cool is I'm 30, and I know that going forward, as the older I get, the faster I'm gonna get in the population, because I'm literally getting more bulletproof to prevent injury in the first place while making it easier to spin my own wheels. And my mom's 67 and she runs like someone half or less than half her age. So I think that's pretty inspiring. She works on these once a week. So I wanted to leave you with her. She's the hardest worker I've ever known, and she inspires me every day. To this day, she still works harder than anyone I ever know. So Mama, thanks for you, and also thanks for inspiring us that we can age differently than we're expected to.